أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وبه نستعين وهو خير الناصر ومعين. Today is 14th February 2010, session number 6 of Marefatul Nafs competition series 1. So that means we are going to have inshallah next series, and each series of Marefatul Nafs is taking between 12 to 14 sessions. And this program is produced and presented by Imam Ali Knowledge Foundation. So our main text of these sessions are Hadith of Nafs of Imam Ali alayhi salam. And if you remember, in the last 5 sessions I've covered the areas of definition of Nafs or soul, and I have also spoken about, read the whole Hadith, which was by a dialogue between Imam Ali alayhi salam and Kumayl ibn Ziyad al-Nakhai, one of his close companions, which there are a lot of ma'arif and knowledge of Ahlul Bayt and Imam Ali alayhi salam, which has been transferred from Imam to Kumayl ibn Ziyad. And this week, before I start, I want to make few announcements to make sure that everything is going correctly. Number one, that the new participants, make sure you are with a team. So when I give the quiz, you write your name on the name of the team that you want to be with them. So because the team mark, 20% of team marks every week will be given to the individuals of members of the team. And also, those who have missed out on the previous sessions, they can always go to gmail.com. I will show you later the account details there. All the audio files are there, you can listen to. And then if you want to sit for the rest of the exam, you send me an email, I'll send you the quiz. And then you have 20 minutes to do the quiz and send me back so I can give you your marks so that you catch up with the rest of the class. And also, what I want to announce today, please make a good note of it. There is a new project that I want every team. We have got about 8 active team at the moment, and each team, 7 team currently here, 1 team from Sydney. So I want every team to take a part. I mean, when I say I want, it is a 20 mark team mark for 10 mark team mark per transcription of every session. Transcription is every team will take up this project, and my lectures are about 20 to 25 minutes each week. You take 1 week of that session, and then you take it, you distribute it among the team members. Let's say 20 minutes between 5 people. That means every team member should transcribe 6 minutes. Transcribe means you listen to it, you type it on a Word format, and the team leader compile the whole thing in one file, and then you send me one file that becomes your project, transcription project of that. So you get 10 marks for every session. So I want you to please all coordinate with Sister Nekhat to be doing this distributing, telling you which weeks to allocate the weeks projects to every team. And for every week you have got 2 weeks for every week. So that means in 4 weeks your project must be sent to me so that I give you that 20 marks for your team mark. The other thing is, once you have done the transcription, then it's very important that you can put into it somehow that video clip. You can probably just name the video clip and give a link to, so that, because the reason I'm doing this, we are going to make this a syllabus for our madrasa inshallah next year, so that they can, and then the team leaders here, if they wish, they can be the teachers of this Marefatul Nafs next year in madrasas. So they play the same video clip for them, and then they make the questions. This similar format to be followed. So see what idea you can find to incorporate that video clip into that syllabus type of thing. I don't know how it works. It might come, I don't know, with the CD. At the end, it comes with the CDs of 14, 15 video clips together, and then they are named in a sequence that the teacher would know which video should be played for which week. So you might name them week 1, week 2, week 3, that type of thing. So please talk to Sister Nekat about it. The other thing is, you have received my email that raffles that we are using to raise $10,000 for Imam Ali Knowledge Foundation. So please, anyone who sells 5 raffles scores 1 team mark. Okay? So every team mark, you know that 20% of the team mark is allocated to individuals. So if you work on those raffles, sell the raffles, the more raffles you sell, the more team mark you get. And the team marks for that is counted based on the money you bring. It's not based on pledge. It's based on the real sales of the raffles. And is Maysam here? Okay, so we want also to make a poster for MNC2. So I give 1 team mark to every design, anyone who sends a design, a poster. At the end, we will choose only 1 design, but just the fact that you have worked toward the design of a poster for MNC2, that scores 1 team mark. If you want to be, everyone gets 1 team mark. It's not I do not rank it which one is better. Just the fact that you have participated in the idea and to give us some design ideas, that will help. And okay, I start with today. Our lesson or discussion is about Nafsul Haywaniyya, or animal soul. I go from the Hadith of Imam Ali alayhi salam. It says, I read from that. It says, Imam started with that conversation, and if you remember, Imam first starts to talk about vegetative soul or plantic soul. It's very important that we understand what type of creatures we are. That's why that strong hadith is there. وَمَنْ عَرَفَ نَفْسَ فَقَدْ عَرَفَ رَبَّهُ. So that to get to know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we need to know ourselves. And who can tell us better than Imam Ali alayhi salam or Masumin that what we are? Imam says we have got 4 souls within one entity that we have. So do not take it that we are 4 people. We are 1 person, and that 1 person has got 4 type of souls in him. And then Imam started told about vegetative soul, and the second is Nafsul Haywaniyya. I read from the hadith. فَقَالَ يَا مَوْلَاي مَنْ نَفْسُ الْحَيْوَانِيَّةِ. He says, oh my Lord, what is animal soul? And Maysam, please remember that you are going to do the MNC2 posters, okay? Talk to me after the session. قال عليه السلام قوة فلكية وحرارة غريزية. Imam alayhi salam says that animal soul is a force which is falakiyya. Falakiyya comes from the word aflak, and aflak is the plural of falak. Falak means stars. So it comes from the galaxies. This force of animal soul, or this animal soul, comes from the galaxies. How? We don't know. Imam has not explained more than this. How does it relate to aflak? Of course, there are a lot of commentaries on this type of ahadith and this type of ulum of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam by ulama and urafas. We can refer to them, inshallah, in MNC2. I'll explain more in detail in this about this nafs and the particulars of it. So it is qawwatun falakiyya. It has come from the galaxies, wa hararatun ghariziyya, and it's a heat which comes from the desires. So this is a fundamental key to understand ourselves, that animal soul is a heat which comes from ghariziyya, from instincts. And once we know that it's from instincts, then we know how to combat with animal soul, how we have to bring it into justice. Asluha al-aflaq, it's originated from aflaq or galaxies. بدء إيجادها عند الولادة الجسمانية. You remember, I might have repeated some of this. That's okay. It doesn't matter if it only makes it more solid in your mind. But because I have to cover certain topics each week, so I have to continue on this and then go on to the faculties of Nafsul Haywani. So بدء ایجادها عند الولادة الجسمانیه means the creation of it, the time when it was created is عند الولادة الجسمانیه. ولادة الجسمانیه is when the zygote reaches to the age of 4 months, and then that is when we know that we have read that and we have learned that at the age of the months of 4, the zygote receives the soul. It becomes an entity with soul. So that time, that very instance is Veladatul Jismaniyeh. And as opposed to vegetative soul, if you remember, it was made at the time of conception of the zygote. At the time of the conception, that is when the vegetative soul is made. But animal soul is made at the time of that 4 months when the soul is given to the zygote. What does that mean? That means at that point, zygote is an animal until it's given birth. Until such time that zygote is not delivered, is not born to this life, it is considered only with animal soul. And even you know more than that. I have told you from Imam Ali alayhi salam says, even when it's born, human soul is only a potentiality and isti'dad and ability in that zygote. It is not yet a human. Humanity is something to be achieved. Anyway, I continue. Badwa ijadaha indal wiladatul jismaniyeh. It is created at the time of 4 months of zygote in the mother's womb. Fi'luha, this is important to know the fi'l, the action of, the acts of animal soul. Fi'luha al-hayat. Hayat means life. Wal-harakat means motion, movement. Wal-zulm. What is zulm? Zulm is against justice. Zulm is injustice. What is injustice? The definition of justice is to put everything in the place where it should be. Injustice when things are taken out from the place that they have to be. That is injustice. Zulm is when the action of doing that is injustice. Is zulm. The action of bringing injustice, moving things from the place they have to be, that is the action of zulm. Wal-ghalaba. Ghalaba means dominance. That's another act of animal soul. Baktisabu shahawat dunyawiyye. And efforting to get shahawat dunyawiyye, the worldly desires and lust. So there are 4 actions of, I'm going to ask you questions in the quiz soon. The 4 actions of the animal soul is hayatu wal harakatu, life and motion and zulm and effort to reach to worldly desires and lust. Maqarruha al-qalb. Maqarruha al-qalb means the residence of animal soul is heart. Animal soul lives in the heart. How? We don't know. We have to, later on inshallah, maybe in MNC 3, 4 or 5, when we talk about Avicenna's issues about, Avicenna has explained all of these things. He was a doctor and he has spoken very well about this nafs and relationship with the body. Maqarruha al-qalb, its resident is heart. Sababu iftiraqaha ikhtilaful mutawallidat. That means whenever there is a newborn animal born, that means iftiraq. That means, what is this iftiraq here? That means from the universal animal soul, a new individual animal soul is created. So that means from any of these souls, there is a universal soul. In the universal animal soul, universal human soul, and every individual soul of us comes from that universal soul. فَإِذَا فَارَغَتْ عَادَتْ إِلَى مَا مِنْهُ بَدَتْ. When it wants to separate from the body, فَارَغَتْ comes from the word of faragh, means goes away, becomes distant from the body, عَادَتْ إِلَى مَا مِنْهُ بَدَتْ, goes back to where it has come from. So animal soul at the time of this, of us, goes back to where it has come from. فَتَنْعَدِمُ سُورَتُهَا, so is form, surat is not face, is form. Those who have been in our classes in the last 2 years, you understand when we say form, this is philosophical form. It is not face. That means haywan is a form, insan is a form, nabat is a form, vegetables are a form, trees, plants are a form. So, فَتَنْعَدِمُ سُورَتُهَا, when we die, that form, that animal form, it becomes mun'adim. Mun'adim means non-existence. It doesn't stay anymore. It perishes. وَيَبْطُلُ فِعْلُهَا. What is يَبْطُلُ فِعْلُهَا? What is fail? Fail are all these actions that we do. This is an action. This is a fail. I bring my hand down. That's an action. That action becomes non-existence, perishes. Isn't it? So, تَنْعَدِمُ سُورَتَهَا وَيَبْطُلُ فِعْلُهَا. That fail, it becomes batil, is no more there. So, all those animal actions that we have done, actions, remember, when they go to our niyat, it is associated with our human soul. But the action itself is perishable. After we die, they are no more there. Audu, sorry, وجودها يبطل فعلها ووجودها ويزمحل تركيبها. يزمحل تركيبها means if that combination, because again inshallah in MNC2 we discuss about soul. Soul is always come from tarkib. Soul is given to a compound. It does that compound is about the matter. So the only thing we want to know here is that compound, that tarkib, that combination of matters, that becomes also perishes, disintegrates at the time of this. So this is what Imam Ali alayhi salam says about nafs and nabatiyah. Let me see what I have here to tell you about. And you remember, always, as we have said, in the level of order of status, the top first status of soul is nafsul kulliyatul ilahiyya. Then after that was, lower than that nafs is the soul which is called divine intellectual, that which is both of them for in human soul. After that soul, status-wise, is animal soul, and after that soul, status-wise, is vegetative soul or plant soul. After that, of course, there is no soul, but creation-wise, after that is matter. Matter has got a lowest status. And this status comes from the fact of the level of their understanding and idrak and perception. That understanding and perception leads to free will or willing motion. What distinguishes haywan or animal from human being is that willing motion. He can decide to go there or go the other side. When a lion attacks a cow, the cow or any other animal has got the will, and he can decide that he wants to escape, whereas plant cannot do that. So one is distinguished between the two souls of animal and human is that free will of motion, and the other thing is more idrak and perception and understanding. And when we die, that animal soul does not keep its identity, right? The identity of animal soul goes away when we die. And about the faculties of animal soul are 5. You remember we talked about faculties of plantic soul or vegetative soul. Now, similarly, every soul has got its own faculties. Imam Ali salam says about the faculties of animal soul. He says, بَلْ حِسِّيَّةُ الْحَيْوَانِيَّةِ لَهَا خَمْسُ غُوَى. For the animal soul, there are 5 faculties. Those faculties means what? They are like soldiers for the nafs. They are working for the nafs. They take the command of the nafs and work for it. Those 5 faculties are sam'un wa basarun. Salam alaikum. sam'un wa basarun wa shammun wa zawghun wa lamsun. That's 5 senses. The 5 senses of us, they are animalistic. They are part of our animalistic soul. They are not part of our human soul. Inshallah, if next week when we talk about human soul, you will see it's a totally different ball game. It's nothing to do with, these are all animalistic things. Whatever we do with all these 5 senses is the function and action of our animal soul. So, khamsu ghawa was sam'un, which is hearing. Wa basarun is seeing. Wa shammun, which is smelling. Wa zawghun, which is taste. Wa lamsun, which is touch. So these 5 senses, these 5 are the faculties of animal soul. But what I want to make sure that you understand, you do not confuse eyes with seeing faculty. Eyes is different from seeing faculty. So if someone tells you, your eyes is your seeing faculty, no, it is not your seeing faculty. Your ears is your hearing faculty, is it? No, these are only physical tools working for that hearing faculty. My eyes is my seeing faculty, is my seeing tools for my seeing faculty. My hands that I can touch is the tool for my touching faculty. By itself, my hand itself is not any faculty. It's only a physical tool at the service of those 5 faculties of nafs. So, those 5 faculties of nafs are within the soul. They are not physical. They are mujarrad. They are disengaged from matter. We cannot see it. Is it clear? Any question on this? And Imam says, وَلَهَا خَاصِيَتَّان. For these animal soul, there are 2 khasiyat, means characteristic, means properties. For this animal soul, with all these faculties, there are 2 properties, 2 khasiyat. One is shahwat, one is ghazab. Means all of these in animal soul create shahwat, means lust and desire, and ghazab, means wrath and anger. So laha khasiyatatan wa in ba'aswa min al-qalb. I told you about this. So remember, it is very important. I'm going to tell you, this may sound a little bit heavy, but within a lot of simple things I tell you, I like you to learn something which is slightly more challenging for your wisdom. See, by understanding this, then you will understand how the whole world we can be deceived by the material world around us. How can shaitan make things look different to us? And then in the video clip I show you that it shows about reality and appearance. Reality and appearance are most of the time becomes 2 different things when we do not using our intellect. Because what happens, animal soul with the 5 senses, or the 5 senses of the animal soul, can only detect what is called araz. In Arabic they call it araz. And in English it means attribute, character. Animal soul or senses cannot see beyond attribute. Imagine, if you had not seen this mobile before, in your life you have never seen any mobile. I bring this and I show you and tell you, I ask all of you, what is this? What can you say? Look at what your 5 senses can start the first perception. Say you can touch it, say yes, it's soft. You can look at it and say, let's look at the dimensions, it's like 10 centimeter by 4 centimeter. You can look at the color, say it's black. You can even smell it if there is any smell. You can even taste it, you can put your tongue on it and say if there is any taste in it. But that's all you can do. Animal senses cannot do any more than this. Can it? Whatever, if it's this, if you have never seen banana, if I show you banana, it's the same thing. You can taste it. This time there's a little bit of taste and a smell there. So animal soul understand this, or in Arabic they say fafham understand this animal soul can only detect attributes, cannot detect substance or reality of anything. What do we need to see the substance of this? For you to understand what it is, if you never knew that's a mobile phone, what are you using that now you understand? Yes, I start to tell you this is a portable communication device. I can make telephone calls with it. I can have a PDA on it. I can have my calendar. This. You are starting to understand it. But what is that? Is it your senses understanding this or what? Do I give half a mark to a team who can say what is it understanding the substance? I don't know who said it. Yes, it's right, but I can't give that half a point to anyone. Sorry for that. So it is only the intellect that can see the substance. Substance means reality. Attributes means appearance. So appearance is detectable by the five senses: the color, the smell, the taste, all of these things, the dimension of it. These are all the works of senses. But the substance or jawhar, in Arabic they call it jawhar. Jawhar and araz. Every object has got araziyat or a'raz and has got substance or reality. So if you look at anything, even this wall, there is a reality of it. That reality of it is wall. What does a wall do? Wall separates between two places. That's the reality of a wall. So that's the substance of it. That meaning that wall is something that can separate between two spaces, that cannot be seen cannot be detected by senses, animal senses. It can be detected by your intellect only. Once you understand what is the space, once you understand what is the separation, then you come to understand that the jawhar or substance of that wall is what it is. Right? That's the meaning of the wall. And the araz or attributes of that walls are the color of it, the dimension of it, or if there is any taste or a smell or things like that. Do you understand jawhar and araz? Do you understand substance and appearance? So substance is the reality of objects. Appearance is the attributes. And this is where exactly shaitan is working. Because when the intellect is absent, you only have animal soul and animal senses that can detect color, this. It looks beautiful, right? Let's say for a boy, a man, goes outside and see a very beautiful lady with no hijab, nothing, right? If the intellect is absent there, he can only see the attributes, the color, how it looks like, and all those appearance. But if there is intellect, their intellect comes and interferes and says, no, wait a minute. You cannot use your senses just like that, unsupervised, and just see whatever you want. Intellect comes and says, no, there is fire behind this. If you look at this as no mahram or la mahram, you are going to be in the fire after this word. That's where the role of intellect comes in. So intellect is the very thing that can detect the substance and reality. And senses are only detecting the appearance. So there is always, for those people who do not have intellect, always there is a big difference between appearance and reality. So appearance and reality look two things. That's why the Prophet ﷺ says, Allahumma arinil ashya'a kama hiya. Oh Allah, show me the objects the way they are. That means give me intellect. Prophet ﷺ here is asking Allah to make his intellect work. Let me arinil ashya, let me see the objects the way they are. That means I want to have a good intellect so that I can see behind it as well. Is this very simple and easy?
So the
Jawhar is the substance and reality.
This is the purpose.
Yeah, you see the purpose behind it. So, and also understand that the senses, another thing I want you to learn, senses. Remember, we said the ears is not sense. This is not my sense. This is the tool for my sense. My eyes are not my sense. My eyes are the tools for my sense. Senses, which are not these senses which are working with the faculty, they are not independent. Okay? Senses are dependent on the soul. So you cannot give dependence to the senses. What does that mean? That means when you see something, when you look at the sun, it is not your eyes or your sight that is telling you this sun looks like this or this sun is so much more far from the other object. It is your soul, animal soul, which is seeing that. So the senses are not independent. They are dependent, they are working for the animal soul. Clear? And this is for today. I spoke 30 minutes, and in 1 minute we start the video clip. This video clip is very much in the line of this, what we spoke, but it is your job to relate it. Because this video does not talk about Hadith of Nafs, but now that you know the Hadith of Nafs, you can relate that video clip to what we have discussed. Bar Muhammad, all Muhammad, salawat.